Welcome back, everybody. This is the state of the industry, brought to you by Openform Radio and Geeks Gone Raw and Knox Broadcast, and mainly distributed on the Facetious stream. Look, I am one of your hosts this evening. Or this afternoon. I'm Larry, aka Blue Man Rule, and I'm joined as usual by my main Dammy, Mike, aka Scarfinger, aka Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's up, thanks?
And joining us in the building is Mr. Information himself. I told you guys, this is one of my counsel. This is one of my dudes, my main dame. He's none other than newly slender, none of Henry, aka Knox.
Hey, what's going on, people? Happy to be here.
Man, guns out if the, my funds out if the guns out.
that's how you roll. And Knox is in Texas, so the sun is always out. So you know what that means. So everybody, thank you so much for dropping in, checking us out. So today, it's all about games. We all met around games. It's all about games. And we're going to really be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about, number one, the Game Awards of 2017, and then followed the very next day by the Sony PSX 2017 Expo. So, man, Mike, you had a lot of things to say about this. So, and it's recorded. Today is December 16th, y'all, 2017 at 12:35 p.m. So, Mike, what you got, man? Okay, so let's kind of look at the show from the beginning. You know, the Game Awards hosted by Jeff Keighley. This is what, the second or third year, and he's put this on, and it's I think it's kind of improved each year. It's kind of moved toward a more formalized, serious direction, but to try to take games seriously, and I think he's doing a good thing with that. Man, there were some glaring things in here, right? So.
No.
Okay.
No. If you want to take games seriously, doing it the way that they did it, this ain't helping, sweetheart. Like this ain't helping for you. I'm sorry, boo boo. This is not working for you. Like it's all right. So I get it. Like it's supposed to be more like presentable or whatever like that, and they're trying to do some things to legitimize themselves.
Uh-huh.
But I thought the most legitimate thing that they could have done during this show is to let the rambling cussing dude run. Let him run. You want to separate yourself. You want to separate yourself. Nope. This is what I'm saying. Listen first. I got you. I think the how you separate yourself is to be true to yourself and to be true to your artistry. Like all of these other shows, like the Oscars and the Grammys and stuff like that, are so like stiff and buttoned down and all of this other stuff, and they just whack. And like we get to the point to whereas like this isn't on regular TV. Like this ain't on regular TV. Like we all watched it on the internet. Like this the internet. Let's be the internet. Like let's say how we feel and let's act like. Act like this stuff matters to us in a way that the internet matters to us. Net neutrality. You know what I'm saying? but like I think there was quite a few missteps in my opinion.
Okay.
There were quite a few missteps. I thought the focusing on the elements that some of us don't really care about, like the esports stuff, was kind of like, okay, like how many of us really care about esports? And then this is the first year, like when they had the musical performance, this is the first year I've ever felt in my heart that I miss Fall Out Boy. Like I'm like, yo, like, and I like Fall Out Boy. You know what? I would rather have Fall Out Boy than some people that don't speak no English. And I know that makes me sound like a stupid, ignorant American, but I was not thrilled by the performance. Like I would rather know what my stuff does in the dark and all that other stuff. Fall Out Boy forever. But I think the biggest misstep for me personally was when they were announcing a lot of the awards that weren't on the broadcast.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was really just Jeff Keighley standing on stage reading off the winners instead of them showing me something. And we talked about this before. off air, and I was like, I need a Vine or something of these people just accepting their awards.
Right,
Like, I mean, like, we spent all of this time talking about some esports gamer that don't even speak no English. Like, all of that time could have been taken. Show me a couple of vines of the actual other awards that actually, like, the other people who actually did something here. Like, I'm sorry, I don't take esports seriously. It's not my jam. I understand.
Come on, man.
I understand it's not my jam, and I understand that a lot of people care, but I don't care about esports more than I care about who wins some of these awards. Like, and that the most important thing to me is that these people that make these games get recognized for their work, as opposed to somebody who plays the games getting recognized for his work that most of us ain't even seen.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
you know, like, and that was I thought that was the biggest mistake. Like I said, you don't have to do a whole lot. Show some vines, like, you know, like do the thing that the Oscars and all of them do, where they have these people after they accept the awards, and, you know, they get ushered off real quick, but they go into a back room and they do like a mini press conference where they answer questions and they talk about this stuff a little bit and expound on what the win means to them, what the game means to them, what all of this stuff means, because what it means is more important than how it looks.
Yeah, but I think I mean, just to kind of give, I guess, Jeff, I mean, y'all know I have my problems with Jeff Keighley, but just to kind of give the gaming awards as a whole, like, some credit, like, I mean, they have to pay for this, you know what I'm saying? Like they have to show themselves, you know, and I get it. Like, I don't want the gaming awards to be uptight, like you said, like the Oscars or like the Grammys or what have you. But I also don't want it to be the MTV awards either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people like, I mean, you know, that you know, the guy of the I can't think of the guy's name, but whatever. But like, that guy, like, it was kind of funny, like, for like the first like 20 seconds, and then after that, when he just kept going on and on, like, it did kind of get sort of obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? But I think that they need to shorten the show down, and if they're going to have, you know, ads or either advertisers, they need to find a way to fit that in, because the reason why they had to rush everybody off and do like these offhand, you know, presentations and, oh, this game won this, you know, award or whatever, is because they had to fill in the spots with those ads. And then they had to kind of...
Why are we having TV limitations on the internet?
No, I totally agree, because we have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, somebody has to pay for it, you know, because I believe the first, like, kind of the first round of them getting away from Spike, I think Jeff Keighley, like, put up his own money for it. And so he can't sustain that every year. So I totally understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, maybe after a while or a couple of years or a couple shows after we grow for a little bit, then we can kind of begin to make demands. But right now, we're kind of at the mercy of the internet. Maybe he should do I don't know, like a Patreon or GoFundMe or whatever, to where gamers actually fund the award show and they can interact, and then so we can have less ads. I mean, that could be an avenue as well. But I think that's the reason why you have most of these problems.
You know, vines at least of the people just saying, holding up the statue saying thank you.
Yeah.
All I need. Like, I don't want Jeff Keighley just standing on the stage and just them pointing the camera at these people who won awards that are not being shown, and like, we don't get no recognition. Like, okay, so and so won this award, and you just see them just sitting in the chair, not seeing them with an award, not seeing them do anything. And also, it's the internet. You can do the whole press conference thing after the fact, and you don't have to do it during the presentation.
I agree. Yeah.
Something, because like I said, and like, you can say that somebody needs to pay for it. Like, you know, somebody from the marketing team of the games who won can actually put a little something on it, so that these videos after the fact can be publicized, because it brings more attention to their games, and their whole goal, except for EA, is to sell games.
Okay, so let me see. So here's the thing. So we've said a couple of things here, and I think I have a pretty decent solution. So we've said that we would at least want to see vines of people who won offstage awards, right? But we also said concurrently that we want a shorter show. So
no. He said he wanted. He said he wanted the current a shorter show. He wanted a shorter show.
So I think
how long the Oscars are, dog. Like,
I know, but that's the reason why I want to shorten the show. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever watched the whole show? Video games, and these video games are like exciting to some degree.
Yeah,
and, like most of the people winning the awards is for games that we've heard of. Like the Oscars are long because you have these pretentious fucking movies that no one has ever heard of. Like
I still ain't seen the English Patient after all these.
For real. Like, that was my example. That was going to be my example until you said it. Have any of us ever seen the fucking English Patient? No. None of us. And also, okay, I'm going to add one more thing before we move on.
No. I got something else to say because I had a solution.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so my solution is this. So how about we move the time for the offstage awards as the commercials and have the commercials be sponsored either by the marketing team or whomever. And so brought to you by whatever. Forza Motorsport 7 won the best battle sports / racing game, right? That wasn't presented on stage, I don't believe. And so just one of those, and then brought to you by Schick Razor. You know what I mean? And then you don't have the stupid Schick Razor Pro dude sitting there on stage inviting everybody up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's a good way to do it, to make the show shorter, but actually show everything on stage, because you're on the internet, bro. Like, you don't really have commercial time slots. You just needed that money to get the show going. So I'm with Mike. Have the people who were nominated, especially in these big game categories where there are a lot of big developers and publishers, have them put up the money and have them sponsor the category. Have them sponsor the other categories. Say like, all right, look, we got some smaller categories. Why don't you guys chip in and sponsor some of these smaller categories? This is how we're going to format it. This is what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or just have the marketing teams for everybody nominated to put something on it. And we'll show trailers. Yeah, because you can't really just do that for the winners.
Well, and I was
you can't really do that for the winners, but you can absolutely do that for everybody who's nominated. Be like, look, even if you don't win, someone's gonna see your game.
Right.
Well,
right.
And that's why I said maybe have the big publishers or the big devs or the developers under large publishers do it, because small independent, like best independent game, right? Like independent game studios don't have that money to put that up. You know what I'm saying? And so trending gamer, like some of those cats don't really have the money to put it up themselves, but that's why you get the people who have the pockets to go ahead and sponsor the smaller ones.
So the trending gamer should be definitely off camera. Like there's no reason to put that. There's no reason to put that in the show. I'm sorry.
And like that I mean, that, you know, award is so subjective, like because I mean it's so broad, like because when you say trending gamer,
what's trending?
I mean it's a popularity contest, and at the same time, like, can you really gauge who's actually more popular? Some people have more YouTube subscribers, some people have more Twitter followers, some people broadcast on Facebook Live. So how do you really gauge that? You know what I'm saying? So it's I mean to me, like that trending gamer award is kind of a throwaway award. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not unless the guy is going to be presenting, you know, like Boogie did, or something like that, you know.
And let's talk about best Chinese game. Like, really? I mean, for real. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, China was a country that didn't even have consoles until like the last 18 months because they had a 10-year ban on consoles. So what are we doing, people?
I mean, but that's probably why they did it, though, to kind of, you know, get that crowd, give them a, you know, throw them a bone. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they had consoles for 10 years.
If you're gonna do best Chinese game, then you need to do a best game in all of the major markets, right?
Or created in all the major markets. Yeah, I mean, you could do a best Canadian game, best South American game, best North American game, best. But then now we're at the point where we're just making the show longer by adding all these.
No, because I think that you can put that inside of a montage. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the best foreign games. I mean, they do it at the Oscars, they do it at the Grammys. Like these are the best foreign songs, and they have a montage that lasts maybe 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that whoever Jeff is working with, they need to work on editing, like just what can we put in this slot right here and just keep production management. So that way when you have guys flying off the handle, like the guy that was going crazy,
cut his mic.
You know what I'm saying? Like you still have enough time to get everything in, and the show is moving to where your viewership is actually engaging, entertain. I mean, like Scar said, like, dude, I mean, it's the internet. Like, you literally have 6 seconds to please us, or we're gonna tune off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know what the best fix for all of this is, and I just thought of it.
What is it? Let's go.
The show doesn't have to be live.
That's what they need a delay. They need a delay on the show.
No, it can be pre-taped. Pre-tape the whole thing. Pre-tape the whole thing.
I'm fine about it being live. I mean, because we are in the midst of a live stream generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we'll be.
They did so many interactive elements with the live stream where people who were watching were voting on stuff, and then they would announce it during the show, and then people who voted would like win prizes, and they were doing things that ran concurrent with offers and deals. And so while
we shouldn't be beholden to the live audience. Like, the live audience is the reason why all of these famous people keep getting hemmed up. The live audience is why Mass Effect 3 went bad. The live audience is why Mass Effect Andromeda was not nominated for a damn thing. The live audience,
the live audience. Now, don't blame it on
everything on the live audience.
He's gonna blame it on the live audience. Overlook EA completely on all of that.
Public. Like, we should be beholden to these idiots.
Man.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, that was the thing. Like, and for me, man, here's another thing.
Wait. One thing. Okay, so we had a whole bunch of stuff. We had stuff that the live audience voted on, right?
Right.
And they were very, very much on the PlayStation tip.
Oh,
why Horizon ain't win nothing?
Horizon, look. Nothing. We're gonna get into the actual winners and losers.
It was mostly because of the fact that, like, I still haven't played the full game yet, but I mean, I'm sorry, man. Like, it's one of those things. Like, it's the same way people have the whole DC hate, and like, people have their darlings picked out already, because before this game even released, like, do y'all remember the fervor before this game was released? Like, the 2 years that it was leading up to it,
Absolutely.
like. People were calling Horizon Zero Dawn Game of the Year before the game even came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like people already have their darlings picked out.
I would tell you straight up. Yo, I would tell you, though, for real. the DLC came out, and it was being publicized everywhere. Nobody on my friends list is playing that game.
It was on sale Black Friday. I seen about it.
I ain't seen nobody playing that junk. And like,
look.
I said it in the chat. I said in the chat. We gonna get you know what? I'm gonna hold on to that until we talk about PSX.
Look. I believe that Horizon Zero Dawn. I won't say they got robbed, but I feel like I haven't even finished the game, you know. But I would say that they should have won something. But the one something that the game has for sure going forward that you can point for sure is graphics. But they put it in art direction, and so Cuphead, I mean, it's such a unique art style that how could you not give it to Cuphead? You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's like that was pretty much the only thing, because I mean, you can't, like, you got the voice acting thing, but the girl from Hellblade did a bang up job. Like,
Melissa Jurgens.
You know,
but Scar gonna get onto something real quick about that. He's gonna get onto her real quick on the stage and accept.
You want me to go now? You want me to go now, or you want me to wait?
Scar, hold on, Knox, you done with your point, bro? Because Scar can come back to that.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's an award show that they want to take seriously. Dress the fuck up for your award show. Right. I'm sorry. I get it. Like, it's a geek event and all of this other shit. Wear a fucking Mario pin. Like, but put on a fucking dress or a pantsuit or something. Do not show up to a fucking award show in your MoCap uniform.
I thought that was cool, man. Because,
no, it's not cool,
bro. You were just talking about the internet.
We want to take. No, if we all think that if we all think that their goal is to take this seriously. Like, really, I mean, you got people wearing MoCap suits. A nigga showed up in a fucking kimono. Like, what kind of shit is this?
I thought what kind of off the road level of uniqueness, because like her wearing that suit showed that acting can be done outside of just acting. Like, she was making a statement.
The only thing that suit proved was that she was fit enough to look bad in that suit just in public. But there is no reason for you to wear that suit in public.
But
period.
okay,
like, there was none, zero. Put on a fucking dress, like wear one of those spheres, like as a little pin or something like that. Wear the little sphere. Like we understand it's a mocap. Like we get it. Like we're all nerds in that way. We understand that that's what it is. If that's what it is, then do that. But for an award show where you might win an award, wear something at least.
Okay, so my thing is this: you just said earlier on in this conversation that you should embrace your uniqueness, right? What is unique about video games in this medium is that we combine different types of mediums within it in order to tell a story or to bring our art. So all she was illustrating the uniqueness of the industry. So which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want her?
It's something that I said that they should do, but obviously they want to be serious. So if they want to be serious, then be serious.
Okay, so you're saying because it's along the line. I think there is a way to blend both, though.
Yeah, go ahead. There's room for both. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the fact that she was unique and standing out in the fact that she played this character, right? So she played this character and she was like literally, I mean, I believe that with that mocap suit, she was making a statement saying that this is video games, but we can act too. This is video games, but we can voice act as well.
You know what would be better for everybody involved? We can meet halfway. We can meet halfway, right? Here's how we do that. Cosplay as the character you played.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Especially if you're a particular nomination.
Yeah. It's instead of you know what I really want to see if we're gonna do that. If we're gonna do the cosplay thing, right? If we're gonna do the cosplay thing, what I want to see is the chick who does the voice of Ashley showing up in a Spectre outfit and watch the world fall apart, because most people don't realize that's a sister.
Right. It's a heavier set, sister, and that's her.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you. All right, this is. I'm sidetracking a little bit.
Okay.
Why? Okay, so the homie Black Thought from the Roots. He's 10-minute freestyle on Flex. And it is the most flames thing you ever heard in your life. It is real hip hop, dog, like real hip hop.
Right.
But white people are losing their fucking minds. So, well, why don't I just put White Thought up there? No, that's his name.
That's his name, y'all.
That's what he's doing. It's his name. His name, and it's been his name since the 90s.
Yeah,
like since the 90s. Like that's his name. It's not like that. He's saying these are Black Thoughts. No, that's his name. And white people are losing their mind. Because the freestyle is flames, it was trending on Twitter, and white people started losing their minds. You know what? I want to see more stuff like that. I want to see the chick that plays Ashley showing up cosplaying as Ashley with the straight wig and all of that in her glorious thick blackness in a Spectre outfit. I need to see that immediately.
Right. Now I'll say. There are two things that I had some reservations with, man. So, okay, so let me get into the first one. So the drunk dude at the mic, Josef Fares from A Way Out, the developers behind A Way Out. Double A says stupid white people. Look, man, that dude, man, you got to put a muzzle on those cats, like for real. And like institute some time limits on these acceptance speeches, like institute some limits on these actual segments, because that dude was just going off the crowd, like he was feeding and he just kept going. Like you got to shut him down. Like at some point you just got to pull him back and be like, look,
they definitely need some wrap it up music.
Yeah, exactly. They need some wrap it up.
But you can only have the wrap it up music if you have the press conference thing after. That's they usher them out there so they can talk after.
Yeah, well, the reason why Jeff couldn't shut the guy down because he brought the guy on to show his game. So he had the clip ready to go, and the guy was just supposed to just tell us about the game, you know, what his vision was, and kind of, you know, have some banter. He was just going off and like going crazy and everything. But the second thing that I did peep is that they know how to cut people off when it's in their best interest, because you see the other guy where he called out Sony for not allowing the crossplay, you know, between Nintendo and Microsoft and PlayStation, and Jeff was like, okay, that's enough of that, and they cut to a clip. I'm like, okay, you can cut it off there because it's probably in your best interest, because I'm pretty sure money is exchanged, or either venues are exchanged, because PSX is right next to the Video Game Awards, so you're probably using the same crowd, et cetera, right?
And you ain't cutting him off because EA took that loot box money and paid for that advertising, so they could show their games, and they could put him on, and then they could show Battlefield commercials when Battlefront commercials when no one wanted to see Battlefront commercials.
Oh, when the Battlefront commercials came on, did you hear how silent the crowd was? Like when it was nominated, people were like, I was like, ooh.
Hey. The only thing I gotta say about that, and I told y'all inside the chat, Star Wars is gonna sell when cotton and corn won't. Star Wars is still number 2 next to Call of Duty for the MPD last month.
Right, but that's it. Right now, they're currently well below their estimates. So even though it's still number 2, because here's the thing: Call of Duty and the DICE games, they sell a lot more than other games, right? So even when they're not doing well, they're still doing better than a lot of other games. But they're way below projections right now. So that's true. That is true. But
are they way below projections from game sales, or they're way below their projections because the loot boxes got hit up, and now they're like, shit, we can't make our loot boxes.
It's the revenue projections that they're below on. So they may have some copies sold out there, but it's the revenue from it that they had projected to receive.
Because they couldn't sell those loot boxes.
Right, exactly, man. So that's the issue. So that was my one thing though, man. Really about Josef Fares, like that dude. Yeah, man, you gotta shut him down. Like I don't understand where that dude was coming from. I don't understand what was. Anyway, man, like, and here's the thing, man. If you're like, look, this is really nice, this is better than the Oscars, how you gonna go off and make it unnice and then make it not compared to the Oscars? It's just like, F the Oscars, it's all this and that. And then I'm like, okay, well, how many people do you see getting up on stage yelling F at the Oscars? Like the lady who won it from Tulsa, she did it once, well, because she was so excited she won, but like it's not something that she made part of her speech and reiterated like 4 or 5 times. So just bring it in. That's all I'm asking. Just bring it down a little bit. Like
I said, I can deal with like the one-off situation like we had at the Game Awards. Haha, it's funny. We had a couple good memes out of it. You know, it's totally fine, right? But my whole thing is that the show is just too long. Like I know other shows are long, but I'm like, if y'all can make 10-second video spots before I watch a YouTube video, like y'all can make this stuff shorter, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like they can show.
I have YouTube Red. Sorry, I don't see none.
So you say what?
I have YouTube Red. I don't see none of that.
No, I don't see no videos. But listen, so here's my thing, y'all, and it affects a lot less people. It probably bothers a lot fewer people. I know this is a niche complaint, but I'm gonna levy it nonetheless. So translators,
they be making shit up, dog.
Dog, they do. They make up everything, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, they're like, thank you very much. Like it's pretty much like 3 sentences of him rambling. He's like, yeah, thank you. So like that's pretty much it. But the problem is, if you notice and you go back and look at the awards, a lot of the translators were reading from a prompter or from cards out of their pocket, of the people speaking the foreign language. So if they've prepared that foreign language, then that means you could prepare the translation. That also means for other people, you can actually run subtitles during this time.
Right. But if you have that already prepared, then that means you knew they was gonna win. So you can't really do it that way.
But they were. Here's the thing: those people have cards. So what you do if people prepare speeches if they just expecting to win. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then have them feed the production facility all of those those speeches or whatever, and then have them input as subtitles after they're translated. So then you'd be like, oh, okay, Super Mario Odyssey won something. Okay, cool. Here's their acceptance speech. Boom, just roll, hit play on the subtitle and go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Like the only issue that you run into, like you run into the issue that's as Scar said, but you also run into the issue Whereas if the person kind of goes off the cuff or off script, then you have to try to make shift and translate. Now you got a mistranslation inside of the chat, with the live chat, and you have the translator trying to catch up, and I just wind up seeing that as a big mess.
Also, the people who are speaking the foreign languages, they need to realize that someone has to translate this shit, and they can't just run on and then have to add more pauses, because like a lot of that stuff was someone saying a lot, and I know when people speak in Japanese, they say a lot for like 3 words,
right?
But I understand that, but like you have to put more pauses in it so someone can actually like tell us what you actually said, and that's why you get a situation where someone talks for 2 minutes and then someone goes thank you, because it's too easy to try to remember.
I mean, or if possible, have the voice come through. Like, I don't know what audio setup you have to do, but you can have the voice come through, for the live audience. But for the viewership, turn down the audio of the person actually speaking, and then turn up the audio of the translator. So all you get is the translator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and get the translator off the damn stage. have them in have them in a booth on the side, and they are just saying what they're hearing.
Right.
And we don't need to see that dude, because he ain't win a damn thing.
Be up there translating, no. But so he
won a job.
Yeah, exactly. So that's to me, that's the deal. Like, that's the issue, and I know it's a minor quibble, because it really is a minor quibble, but it's just something that's distracting for me as someone who does try to attempt to speak a foreign language. It's distracting. You know what I mean? It's not as smooth as it could be. I just like to see it optimized. If we're going to call ourselves legit and try to progress this thing every year, I would like to see it enhanced and improved. That's all. So, so let's talk about what did not enhance and improve was PSX 2017. Scar. That face. Knox was so upset.
Look. Anything I say is going to be labeled as hate anyway. So, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, look. I tried to watch the show 3 times, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. The whole thing live, and I literally fell asleep like 3 times.
Right.
But what I will say is that I do like the fact that Sony even has, just the wherewithal to sit down with their community and do a long form show. Do I think that it needs to be a show like that? I don't think that works well. That could go over better on like a podcast type forum or like a pre-recorded forum. Yeah. But I do admire the fact that they do that. My only thing is that they keep showing the same stuff that we've heard since 2014, and I think that there's a double standard on how things are judged. Like, if Sony shows a CG trailer and doesn't give no release date, oh, I bought a PlayStation 4 because we know it's coming. Microsoft shows a video game, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, we see this every single year. A Crackdown again, or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm like, it was cool stuff, but it was the same. Like the best thing that I saw at the show was the Detroit demo. That was pretty cool, how he let the crowd interact with him, and he was going through the demo, showing about it. But basically, I mean, really all it is Heavy Rain 2.0. I mean, it's just a more graphically looking, eye-pleasing, deeper, richer Heavy Rain. That's basically what it basically is. I mean, it's heavy. It's heavy rain in the future, pretty much.
There was some futuristic stuff, especially with the investigator in Heavy Rain. So we say further in the future,
right? The show is good for the crowd. I mean, it's the PSX. It's not E3. And I commend. I can't think of the guy's name. Not Andrew House. The other guy.
Sean Layton.
I'll say what?
Sean Layton.
Yeah.
Sean. Buddy.
I commend it because he said this is not a trade show. We want this to be more intimate, and we wanted to come and sit down with the fans, and then let the developers come out and talk to you what they're talking about. But the developers are coming out and they're talking about the game. They're talking about UE4, and I know Scar goes to sleep when he talks about engines,
right?
Everything else. So I mean, I'm kind of the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like give me a release date, show me something new that I have not seen. You know, when you kill the same monster 3 years in a row at every single show that you show, I mean, there's only so much I can take. Just bring the game out. You know?
Look, yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, and people were talking about, man.
No, I'm gonna do this right now. We could do because we just brought him up. I'm gonna do this right now. First of all, get that man some dental. Like seriously. Les Miles. I found out who it was. Les Miles. Before each game, he walks out to keep us grounded. He eats grass from the field.
What?
Yeah, he eats a little bit of grass from the field before each game that they play. Why he look like he eat glass before? And I get it. You might be British or whatever. Like I don't know. You don't sound British, but you know they might have cleaned that up a little bit. But bruh, why does your teeth look like that? Like it was hard. Like first of all, you look like your head belongs on a different body. Like, if we say that every E3, your head looks way too large. Like you look like something that they messed around with trying to create people in Jurassic Park. But
focus, man. So much hatred.
But from on E3, we're at so much of a distance from you, and they're showing the crowd and stuff like that, showing you on stage. Like we don't see this now. When you create a more intimate setting, like what you tried to do, maybe get your man some dental, a little bit, because his teeth look like the beginning of Black Friday, like. Everybody rushing at the door. It was just bad, and it was distracting. Everything that I saw talking, I could not stop looking at his mouth, and I'm like, "What? You supposed to be? You're probably a multimillionaire. Why do you look like this? Like seriously, get some. I mean, either take some steroids and make your body bigger, or get some lipo and make your head smaller. But then also at the same time, bro, like I need you to do something for your teeth. Like I get it. There's some famous people like David Letterman and stuff like that have gaps. Michael Strahan has a gap, and the gap is a part of their personality, and they don't want to get it fixed. But when your teeth look like that, you should want to get that fixed. Especially if you're gonna be on a stage sitting with Sony plant, Greg Miller. Like if you're going to be sitting on the stage with the Sony plant, at least look like you are worth more than the Sony plant.
Well, look, man, like okay, Sean Layton aside, because he didn't wear a tight Crash Bandicoot shirt again this year.
Aren't we so glad? Like so glad. So glad, because on his undersized body or his oversized head, one of the two, like when he wears t-shirts, it never looks right.
It doesn't. It does not.
Well, they're trying to take a page out of the Peter Moore, in the Phil Spencer book. Like Peter Moore always wore a collared shirt. He was more of a kind of a button down guy. Phil Spencer's been at Microsoft for 25 years. He got job security. He's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he just put his t-shirt on and just roll. You know what I'm saying? But he started doing that to kind of, he had the indie shirts. He had the Cuphead shirt, kind of doing like a little secret announcement or whatever. Then they started doing it, at Sony. But it just, Sean doesn't, like, you can tell that he is an executive. So I feel like he needs to just remain an executive. And they need to get maybe a fresh look. Like once Andrew House goes, what'd you say?
What executive do you know has teeth like that?
Hey, but I think they need to get like a fresh face in there just to kind of be the guy, sort of like the Phil Spencer come out there and he's like the new hip whatever type of guy.
Right.
And then have Sean Layton just be like the beginning announcer guy and keep him as far away, do a far camera pan, and then cut to a trailer and you're good after that. So
but yeah, man, I think this. I think that Sony is trying. The problem I have with PSX is this. The goal of it, the idea of it is stellar. The problem is that it's inconsistent with Sony's behavior toward the consumer, because PSX to me is an exercise for Sony to sit down with their community and say, look, we hear you, we're a part of you, we value you, and we want to sit here and be transparent and clear with you and tell you what's going on. But to me, that is antithetical of what everything Sony has been this generation. Which,
yeah, you know, and I mean, when you say that, people don't take a critical look at it, because like I've said it since the beginning. I'm like, look, like just go back in Sony's pedigree. People say, oh, Sony changed and they made a major change and shifted everything. No, they're still dictating to the consumer what you can and cannot do. No EA access. You can't change your PlayStation name. And they even joked about that a little bit at the show. Right. You know, you can't have preview program access. You can't, like they're dictating to you what you can and cannot do. Like every single Sony exclusive has been delayed, and I don't flinch when I say that. Every single Sony exclusive has been delayed, like, because they're going to tell you when it's going to come out. Like it's the same Sony that said that you're going to get a second job to afford the console. You know what I'm saying? Like they just capitalized on their competition's misstep, and they did a fantastic job of it. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing a fantastic job of it. You know, like and. I mean, for some reason, that groundswell and that mind share and that fan base, I don't think that fan base is as critical as the Microsoft fan base or even the Nintendo fan base. I just think that people just have the idea of what Sony is, and they love them for it. And so anything they do, you know, whether good or bad, is going to be accepted. You know, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's Sony. You know,
right? And this, I mean. It's hard for me to thoroughly.
It's kind of like Apple, you know what I'm saying? Like people stand in line to Apple, they don't have the latest and greatest, but I mean, it's Apple. It's Apple, look, you know.
Apple products and then talk shit about people who stand in line for J's.
But like for me, to me, that's the only thing that trips me up. And by the way, AA says Scar is making the UK and all of Arkansas mad with his bad teeth hate, because but I want everyone to understand. Like I think the premise of the event is great. I think that the principles executed within that event die when that event is over. I think that them being clear and being transparent with the community stops the second that event is done.
Okay.
What other topic here?
Let's say something. Let's try to say something good about it.
I got a few.
Did you see from this event that was something that interests you in any way, shape, or form?
Soul Calibur VI, because I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan. That really interests me. I've been looking forward and waiting on a good Soul Calibur this generation, so I'm looking forward to that, honestly. The other thing I saw that really interests me is God of War having a pretty meaty experience, right? They said 25 to 50 hours, and I don't know if that's just main mission stuff or if it's going to include any side quests and things like that, but that's pretty cool.
Really? All of that? Is it going to be open world?
I think so. Well, no, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think it's going to be more of a Rise, kind of more directed experience.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like fully open world. I mean, it'll probably be somewhere like in between Witcher and Tomb Raider. You know what I'm saying? So not necessarily like completely closed off, but I think it's going to be most definitely directed experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, it'd probably be more aligned perfectly with something like a Tomb Raider, just because Tomb Raider, it really is a directed experience, but does give you some side stuff that you could do. So right. I think it's going to be more like that, because Witcher is just way too broad. You know, you can just do so much at once. So that interests me. The Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch, when that came out, that interests me. But like,
which one is that? Which one is that?
It's the one with the with like the samurai with the sword.
Oh yeah, that looked cool. And right. You know something? I'm kind of interested in the Fantasy Strike joint.
What?
The little simple fighter, because my problem with fighters is like all of these long drawn out button combinations and stuff like that. I like Street Fighter where you can hit somebody, you hit them 2 times and they fall over and then we got to restart. Like, I don't want like this long, drawn out, you know, pressing like 20 buttons and arrows and all that kind of stuff to try to make these really long combos. That's what got
man,
me.
why you hate on Killer Instinct, man? Come on, man.
Come on, man. We're not gonna start on Killer Instinct. I think Killer Instinct is a solid product, and the fact that it's crossplay is greatness.
Yes.
But the combos
take away from people like me. I get it. Like y'all, you know, like Mortal Kombat was great until they added the run button and all of these long combos.
Yeah. And then after the run button, I was like, all right, yes, too much going on at once for you, boy.
Uppercut, sweep. Uppercut, sweep.
Exactly. Like I like that kind of stuff. In Fantasy Strike, it seems like it's going to get back a little bit closer to that, you know.
So you like Fantasy Strike? Okay, well that's cool, man. That's cool. Knox. Outside of the one thing I did appreciate telling us though was that Naughty Dog, that The Last of Us 2 is 50 to 60% complete. And like I said, this is the thing that's just holds me back. It's like, all right, this is good news, but this is the only time of the year I'm ever going to hear that.
But it doesn't matter because like
it's gonna be delayed.
Like like it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch the first 2 hours, did you see how many times they teased the God of War developer about them giving a release date? Like they teased him like over and over and over and over and over again. But all the crowd did was just laugh because it doesn't matter. Like again, they have the mind share, which is very, very good. But I will most definitely say this though. Like look.
One nice thing I'll say about Sony on your current point. One nice thing I'll say about Sony is they have the mind share, but even though we may not be interested in it all, they do have all of these games. Most of which you can know from them. Yeah.
I mean, you know, that second party support, that homeland support is there. But like I say, I enjoyed Detroit. God of War, don't know. I'm still skeptical. I don't want it to be The Last of Us in Norse mythology. I don't like the I'm going to make a game so you can make a game type game, which is that dream game.
I can't stand it. I don't want to create my own experience because we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. Everybody and their mama is going to create Mario 1-1, and that's pretty much where it's going to go from there.
Yeah, but the overall thing, what I can say that I do like about Sony and what they do is that they don't let games die. And they will keep hope alive, and they will let a game come out. You know, Last Guardian. You know, I can name a ton of them, right? Whereas Microsoft, like, they're quick to cancel. Well, not quick, but like Microsoft, they're not going to lose money. You know what I'm saying? Like Sony will lose $100 million and not blink, and they'll still bring the game out, albeit 5 years later, but they'll still do it. And like, that's what I think that Sony does. Secondary thing, Sony is willing to take risk and chances more than I think most companies are, right? So they have a lot of games that don't appeal to me and don't appeal to my psyche because I'm more of a multiplayer guy, but they are willing to allow their developers to take more risk, right? Because a game like Detroit, I guarantee you that game's not going to sell maybe over 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, but but they allow the developers. It's like Sony puts out games for the sake of perception and the morale of their fan base. Most outlets, like, you know, even like Nintendo, right? Like, they got a rabid fan base. But in terms of like new experiences, unique experiences, I think that's where Sony shines at, because they allow their development staff to take risk and make what they want to make, even if it's at the cost of them losing money. So that's what I like about them.
Right. No, and they do. And I am happy that they're bringing back, even though it's an old game, MediEvil. I never played MediEvil. I never played that game. But the fact that they can go back and pull that up, because I still want them to remake IQ, like Intelligent Cube. I want them to bring that back.
No.
It ain't gonna happen.
Stop remaking games.
Yeah,
Make
please.
new stuff. If you want to keep doing these remakes, do backwards compatibility the right way, you jerks, so that we can actually get on with new stuff. I understand that you don't have a great lineup, so you want to keep going back to the past. But we are tired of the past. If we want to play stuff, we can play backwards compatibility on our PCs and our Xboxes, and everything is great, even to the point to where some of them are enhanced by the console that we're playing on now. Do that. Stop making games over.
Here's the thing,
And
though.
charging us for them.
Yeah, I agree with the stop charging us for them. But here's the thing, man. We say this, but there's a lot of people in the industry. There's a lot of gamers out there in the market that will not take the reduction in graphics. They will not take the slower frame rate. They won't take it, bro. Like look at the pounding PUBG has been taking. Like they will not take it. So you're gonna have to do something.
They get an Xbox X, and now you can play some of those old games, and they look better.
That ain't gonna work for everybody. You know it won't work for everyone. But
as I understand, Halo 3 looks fantastic now.
Well, I sure hope so. because it was
I think it's in 4K. Well, I think it's in 4K 30, and you can do the Master Chief Collection. That's 60. I think it's like bumped up to some crazy resolution or whatever it is. I don't know. But I mean,
I don't know. I just think there was some good stuff from PSX, man. But honestly, I mean, there wasn't a lot. And if I'm looking for things for all of that time period, and there's only like 4 things I can say, I'm cool about that. Like Soul Calibur isn't even, I don't think, an exclusive announcement, because Soul Calibur has been multi-platform since Soul Calibur 2. So
we missed something.
Huh?
We missed something.
What we miss? The VR?
Well, no, because none of us care about VR. In fact, most of us in the world don't care about VR. But
don't let nobody tell on the internet, because it's sold 2 million. It's sold 2 million, Scar.
It's sold 2 million. How many consoles did they sell?
70 million.
Right, and they sold 2.
Yeah.
So, like I said, most of us don't care about VR, and we are going to continue not caring about VR. I don't care if you put Skyrim on it, and people love Skyrim. I don't care if you put The Last of Us on it. I don't care if you put Uncharted on it. We don't care about VR. We care about VR just as much as, like, we already called this. We care about VR just as much as we cared about 3D.
We did.
Because I have kind of come around a little bit, but just in your opinion, or I guess both of y'all's opinion, what do you think VR would need in order to captivate the consumer in such a way to where it would become, which is a far-fetched idea, but it would become a mainstream medium? Like, do you think the barrier is the thing on your face? Do you think the barrier is the price? Do you think the barrier is what?
It's the price. It's very much the price.
Just the price?
I think. Well, no, it's a combination between. No, my flashlight is not VR. It is. It's AR, meaning actual reality. And you could buy some things where you can strap it to your iPad, so while you're watching something, you can work it. Which like there's things that's AR, not VR. But it's but I think it needs to be like you have to have good shared experiences, because you can't just sell somebody on VR without like a community. VR is a very, for the most part, VR is a very solitary experience. It's just you being stuck in that world. Yes, there are multiplayer games, but there are no what it's really going to take. I'm gonna tell you what it's really going to take. It's going to take a game like Warframe in VR to really make VR what it's supposed to be. It's a very, very well made game that anybody with VR can get into and enjoy themselves. Not necessarily that game, a game that doesn't cost much and it is a very enjoyable experience. You know, if you want to, you can put in your half. If not, you can just get in and enjoy the game and it be from there. And very much the price is a problem. The devices that you need to power VR is a problem. I mean, I just bought a VR capable computer, and every time I see that on the box is right behind me. Every time I see that on the box, I'm like, shoot. And but I think, I mean, because I'm never going to care about VR. I'm never going to care about VR. But you know, the you need something like Warframe, but on the extent of Ready Player One's The Oasis. Like, you need something that doesn't cost much. Everybody can get in and realize the wonders of VR and go from there. Like, I mean, you know, Ready Player One, they go to school and everything.
Like I sincerely think that VR will be, or might have been, you know, speaking in future hindsight, I think that it would be successful if two things happen. Not even concerned about price. I feel consumers would pay for it if it had the software backing behind it, and if it was wireless and small. Meaning that if it's not so obtrusive that I have to go through a ritual to play my video games, because it's like my brother has a contracting job with Oculus Rift, and when he sits down and he hooks up to his PC and everything, it's a chore. Like, I mean, hooking those wires up, putting it on, he has to put his arms through because he's tall, and like he has to get ready to do it and everything. If I gotta do all that,
he has to be ready.
And then before I play, I have to think about doing all that. So I'm like, I don't want to go through all that right now. I just want to grab the controller and, you know, start playing.
It's the reason why we like consoles over PCs. We don't have to think about much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So for me, Knox, I'm with you. Wireless is a huge hindrance. I think that once we get by that, that's one reason why the HoloLens looks so attractive to a lot of people, because there aren't any wires to it. The second thing that I believe, and you know, we talked about games. I think it needs to be really, really good games. And you all have said that. But here's my biggest thing. We need better technology in order to reduce the amount of physical repercussions of putting that on. A lot of people get headaches. A lot of people get dizzy. A lot of people feel queasy and like they're going to vomit. They feel disoriented. Finally, we've talked about it before in this house, in here. Look, man, I live in a house with people. Like, if I have a small kid running around and I put this thing on and I can't see outside of my immediate environment, that's a problem. It is a problem, and I need people to understand that that is an issue. But until people admit that, we won't get it. Like, we need in the lenses.
And I need really good games I can play while sitting down.
Well, and they fixed that though. They've kind of fixed that. They've kind of fixed that. But the problem, like, to me, we need better tech.
Another thing, they have to fix locomotion in VR. Like how you move around in VR. And I know, like, they're coming out with like controllers and stuff that can do that for you. But like, you know, the early VR games, like, you had to like move in a certain way and it just basically teleports you to the next spot. It happened. Like, I have to be able to move around in this world in a way that feels natural, like how using two sticks eventually felt natural.
Okay, but it took an adjustment period. But yeah, it is.
No, right. It took Halo.
Well, I didn't start in Halo with the two sticks, so it took me a minute. But I hear where you're coming from. I just think that we need better tech, and yes, we need better games. And right now, we need to mitigate the investment costs, right? Whether it's time, whether it's resources, whether it's physical pain, whether it's queasiness, whatever it is, we need to mitigate those, because there are too many barriers erected right now.
But I don't think that's going to be mitigated until we get better tech, because there's no way. Like, I mean, to have a VR ready PC, you're talking about spending, $1,000 plus the VR headset. So I mean, you're already beyond the consumer, pricing before their eyes glaze over. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you know, in order for it to be successful, we are going to have to wait on that tech to get better. But even if that, like, I just feel like me as a father of 3, like, you know, I barely get into game time, you know, at nighttime or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I can barely put my headphones on without having to try to watch them. So I can only imagine putting on a headset and being isolated away from them and can't see them and I'm knocking them over or whatever the case may be. And, you know, like Scar said, like, you know, about the locomotion, they need to, I don't know, some smart person needs to figure out, does it need to be on rails for the first, I don't know, hour or so, and then let the player kind of interact? Does it need to be like Child of Eden type games, or like
that's The Witcher 2? Because once they took the rails off, I'm like, I don't know what
to do.
Yeah. But no, man. So like for me, there was a, like for me right now, and you know, this is a game of the industry thing we're kind of talking about. So for me right now, man, I don't see VR as being something that's actually legitimately feasible. And let's be clear, people are talking about 2 million units sold for the PSVR, and it's like 49% of the market that was sold this past year was also the cheapest by a very long shot. It wasn't until October that Oculus released something at $399 or something that was even competable and or competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Virtual Boy syndrome. I mean, you everybody went out and bought a Virtual Boy, and you know, you got it in your house, you stuck your head inside the little thing, and you saw Mario. He was red and black backgrounds and everything, and then your eyes start hurting, and then you threw it in the closet and never played it again.
Yeah, and so, but there are some people who'll be like, you know what? Yeah, man, because I listen to Game Enthuse, and I think almost every host except one on there actually has a stinking PSVR, and they don't play it much. But when a new game comes, play it
because it's a chore to play it.
Yeah, and then they get the small ones, right? You know, they get the small indie games, but then you get experiences like Batman, which I heard was excellent, but it's only what, an hour and a half or 2.
Yeah, 2 hours,
and then you're done, and then that's it. Because there's no replayability in these current games. They don't have any of the elements implemented that would make you extend the playtime, like co-op or multiplayer. So now you're looking at a very singular solo experience and something that's very short, that's a high cost, high monetary and physical cost. So again, man, like I said, I would like to see it work, but I just, like me and Mike said a long time ago, it's just 3D in another device, and I don't think that's going to
those games that you play at like Dave and Buster's or like Chuck E. Cheese, where like basically, if I was trying to sell VR, I would go back in the treasure trove of light gun games and just have all those games repurposed for VR. Throw them inside of a 10-game package, sell it for $60 or $40, and I feel like those would sell. Because all you have to do is just let the rails go and you're just shooting stuff. And I mean, it's fun to shoot stuff, and it's on rails, so it's not difficult. And you get 10 games, you just remaster them or resolution bump them or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that will get the VR train going while you're making, you know, other, you know, type of, you know, specific VR experiences.
Right. And AA,
that's what I would do.
I mean, AA says it's still a gimmick right now, and he said it's just like 3D. So I mean, that's kind of where we are. And I think, you know, since we're always here and we talk about it, man, like, I don't know if we want to, because this is the last topic because we had time, but I just want to say, you know, I don't know if the community has gotten any better since the last time we came. I think the community is about where it has been. You know what I mean? I think the community is still.
No, it's getting worse because they're being more emboldened by their wins.
I agree. I agree.
They keep winning. They keep winning in places like with these loot boxes and stuff like that, and they've taken it to other places like Destiny and stuff like that. And let's be honest, the Destiny thing is not that big of a deal. But it's kind of like I said, what's going on in Hollywood right now, where things that are just slightly similar are being equated. And how we look at Destiny and we look at Battlefront as the same thing, and it's like, no, these things are not the same. Yes, they're both like, come on, son, like, really, you just gonna do that to me like that? But they are not the same. And you know, Destiny has all kinds of other issues that you could be harping on, except for fucking bright engrams. Like, fuck out of here. I
think the outrage does get conflated, but I think it's more of a moral issue dealing with Destiny. What Destiny's problem was that they came out and they were literally throttling people's XP. So the hardest of the hardcore gamers were being taken by the fact that they were playing more, doing more things, trying to grind up and everything, which is what you do in Destiny. You grind.
It was
yeah. So
20 XP where your XP doesn't matter anymore.
Right, exactly, and so people found this out, and all the guys from Reddit research, and they were pissed off. But then, like I put it on Twitter, I said, look, all this would have went away if they would have just put it back to normal and said, we were wrong, I'm sorry. But Bungie didn't do that. They came out like the cheating girlfriend and said, you know what? I know I cheated on you, but it was because you don't pay attention to me. I know I cheated on you, but it was because, your mom always called you and you talked to her too long. Like, no, you just had sex with somebody else. Like, stop. Stop. It's like, no, Bungie. They came out and said, look, it was not our intention to make this happen. We are fixing the problem because the system didn't work like we thought it should. No, the system worked like you designed it to work, and you got caught.
Well, again, not too long after that, they released a DLC which locked people out of stuff they had access to, and it was like, you did this before, and you ain't had nothing to say. No, ain't then. And then they had to backtrack on that too. It was like, all right, we'll put it back. All right, fine.
Yeah. So I mean, I get you right.
I'm sorry. One point. Yeah. And the Battlefront issue is totally different. Their issue is the fact that, I guess you can roll it up into a moral issue, but it's more of a business issue, right? When you create these systems in place, right? I'm a guy that loves Battlefield, right? And I love Battlefront by the fact that it uses the same engine, right? But it's incredibly casual, and I understand because it's Star Wars, you want to sell it to everybody, cool. But when you have a nefarious business practice to where you're trying to push people to buy microtransactions, where even your progression in the game is not based upon the merit of how good you are, it's based upon RNG and what you're gonna get. Like that's basically gambling. Like it don't matter how many headshots I get, it don't matter, because at the end of the day or at the end of the match, this person can get Han Solo and I can get a freaking, I don't know, 10 plus damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense.
At least Call of Duty was smart. When they came out with their little loot boxes or their care packages or whatever you want to call it, what they did was they had a back door into, it's okay, we're all right. Call of Duty said, okay, you're gonna earn these care packages. If there's something there that you don't like, you cash them junks in, and then you can use it to buy what you need.
Right.
Right. But
that way that saves us from having to deal with this.
Look, man. I think Halo does it the right way, and I think everybody needs to copy Halo or either Gears. Gears allows any one of your friends to play the DLC and everything else. So if you got a friend that has it all, you have it all. All the Gear stuff, to my knowledge, is all cosmetic. If you want a pink glowing Lancer, you can have it for the low price of X amount of dollars, but it doesn't affect the gameplay. Halo says everybody can play for free. All the maps are free. All the content is free. We're going to bring it out every single month. But you can buy red packs if you want to get a helmet or whatever the case may be, or extra gun, or whatever. That's totally fine. But when you begin to start messing with the progression system and have people buy stuff that they can have advantages in the game and they didn't earn it, that's the problem that people have.
And Halo does one thing that I think is cool, and it's also something that Diablo does. Whereas, like, okay, you can earn these loot boxes and stuff for yourself, but we also gonna throw some stuff in for your friends. Like, just get them all. If you want to, yeah, because I'm playing Diablo and it'd be like, yo, we just drop you something for blue. Just go ahead and give me blue.
And it's always legendary. It's always good equipment too. It's like, and then if they don't want to use it, then they can take it and cash it in and buy something else, or transmute it into something else. So it becomes like, hey, you have this if you want it, but in case you don't, use it how you want. And that's what needs to be the default option on this stuff, right? And like Mike and I were playing Mass Effect Andromeda last night, right? We played 2 quick bronze matches. We won them both. Yeah. And Mike unlocked a Krogan Vanguard, and he was happy. It was just he bought a pack and it was something he got. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to set your goal on something and say, okay, I know I need to do this, and this in order to unlock it.
And like I'm not a Destiny fan, but I know that's the frustrating part about it for somebody who plays Destiny. I mean, y'all know we have hardcore friends that play Destiny hardcore, right? It's frustrating to wind up finding out that you just put 20 hours and XP that you should have gotten, you didn't get, right? And but here's the even more frustrating part. Both EA and Bungie, y'all have done this before, and you've done it the right way. Look at Battlefield. You hold off all that RNG stuff until after 6 months after the game releases.
I have to say, in Destiny, it's for bright engrams, which are mostly cosmetic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm
but it's armor that looks cool, and then you infuse it with other armor that you have.
Let me say this
to make it a decent level. So it's cosmetic stuff, but I get what you're saying. But the bright engrams are mostly just cosmetic.
Yeah, no, but I was speaking from just like an overall perspective, meaning that Bungie has done this the right way before. When you brought up the Taken King, y'all made everything better. You catered to your hardest core players, which are going to keep your game perpetually going. Whereas you flip that on its head and you wind up trying to gyp your hardest core players and then wind up messing up the entire thing. Well, messing up the trust factor, right? EA has done this right before. They did it right just last year with Battlefield 1, right? You can get loot boxes, you can buy them and everything, but it doesn't affect, the battlefield. Well, not necessarily to a degree to where you're progressing via RNG. So why did you flip that around? Well, I know why you did, because it's Star Wars and you thought you can get away with it. But both companies have done it right before. So it's just disheartening when you have to flip around. And my last point is that I mean, the reason why we're seeing this getting gradually worse is because you have two things going on. You have a society that has a perpetual outrage culture. Everybody's outraged at everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Dogpiling, outrage. It don't matter if it's about video games or sexual harassment. Everybody needs to feel like they're a part of the group or whatever the heck it is or whatever, right? Then you have these nefarious business practices, and those two things is a volatile piece of dynamite that is that we're seeing is exploding every single day like it's something brand new.
Now, here's the thing. The whole reason I got into doing podcasting because people weren't talking about the business aspects of things. And now people are seeing why the business aspects of things are important, because they're in their face now, and it affects the results of their play. And so now they're starting to care, right? Now they're taking notice because now it's affecting them. They see the effects. They didn't always see the effects, but now they see the effects. So you're right. Like this, I really wish the industry would, like, if you're going to be outraged, be outraged about something that matters. It's these effects in
something
the game
that matters to you. Like, most people don't even know about, they don't even care about Destiny or EA or whatever case may be, but they just get outraged because everybody else is doing it.
Right, because everybody else is upset. And, Mike is talking about, it affects the Ingrams. But for me, it's like, look, man, I invested my amount of time, and you're only giving me 1/20th. I think they said those numbers came out too, of my amount of investment, like of the reward I expected for that investment. So you're telling me I'm getting 7,200 XP when really only giving me 360, right? And so that's a problem, because if you just want to do it that way, just do it that way. Don't lie to me. Now, this is about honesty thing. It's about an ability to trust, right?
As the person of the three of us that has played Destiny 2 the most, I can honestly say, and I know that I'm a different kind of dude. But in my grind to get better gear, to get better weapons and stuff like that, every time I have earned a bright engram, I'm like, oh, I got a bright engram. Let me go try to get this gun. Like, I have never got like the bright engram is just something that happens every once in a while. It's never been something that I have been really that concerned about. Since I hit 20, I have two characters over 20. I have two characters over 20, and once I hit 20, it's about getting better gear, and that is not coming from those bright engrams. So I have not thought about it one bit.
Right. But
I haven't thought about it at all.
Right. And I'm not the right person to even I guess judge or kind of do it. But I just hear from people who are hardcore, right? So like the hardcore guys, I couldn't imagine doing this, right? But they have 3 characters. They grind all 3 characters, and they send all their bright engrams to just 1 character. You know what I'm saying? And they grind again and do the exact same. It was the same thing in D1 with strange coins, right? They would use the other 2 characters to grind, 3rd character grind, get all the stuff and rewards for that day, and then send them all to 1 character. So for those people, I think it probably matters more. But to me, it doesn't matter, which is why I was like, hey, man, just stop lying and just make it the way you made it in D1, and you'll be fine.
So, but I mean, that's my thing, man. I just worry about the community. And double A said judge free zone, right? So, but no, man. So for me, and like me, I'm not even a Destiny guy. Like I said, I have Destiny 2, but I still not drawn back to finish the stinking campaign. So
I got it for free, I still haven't finished it.
I mean, I got it for free thanks to Mike.
We need to get on that.
Yeah, you're right.
Instead of playing Mass Effect, we should have played Destiny. We should have finished that.
We should have ran through it, and I'd like to do that, man. But everybody, I mean, that's all I got, man. If y'all got anything else, it's time to get it in. Is now, gentlemen. If not, otherwise we're gonna move into shout outs. Y'all got something else?
The only thing that I would say is that I don't like leaving, like, I mean, in my household, I always say, if you're gonna bring a complaint, be prepared to bring a solution, right?
Right. Always.
So I would say the solution to this is that like just do what you do. Like, stop being outraged because your homeboy is outraged. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a problem, voice your opinion, and you take care of it. Nobody needs a white knight in shining armor, trying to prop up somebody else's problem to make themselves feel better and look better. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just handle your own biz. Like, I don't care about Destiny, so I'll go in and I'll tease people in the chat or something like that or whatever, but I don't really care either way, because it don't really affect me. But if somebody start talking about Battlefield or Forza or whatever, then I'll go out there. Yeah, I'll voice my opinion, but I'll actually voice my opinion in a constructive way, right? So don't go to the developers and say F you, because you're not going to get anywhere. Go to them on Twitter and make it a logical, thoughtful point without using vulgarity, et cetera, and say, hey, could you please fix this? And so they either have to rebuttal or they have to ignore you. And if they ignore you, then you can garner help, because you see, okay, Bungie's ignoring me. This is bad customer service because I'm a consumer, right? Or they listen to me and this is going to change according to what they said. And I feel like that's a more productive means of approach.
Yeah. And allow me a moment to bulldoze all of that. Stop giving Joe Gamer a fucking voice. Like, stop it. It started with Mass Effect 3, and it just snowballed, and we keep giving Joe fucking Gamer a voice. Stop it. We need to go back to like the 360 days where there was basically like, these game companies had people that they trusted, that they invited to these events and all of this kind of stuff, people from the community that they trusted, and people that they could and should listen to. Stop listening to Joe fucking Gamer. Joe fucking Gamer is an idiot. Stop listening to him. And I don't care how loud it gets. But you need to also use those people that you're going to trust. You need to use those people as your shield and say, look, your concerns have been voiced. I have talked to, I talked to Bungie personally, because I'm not on the staff, but I am a part of a select group that goes out and previews these things, and I do all of these things in advance of you seeing it, and they heard your concerns. They're working. Like, we need to go back to that. Like, people like the Gamerscore blog and all, like these people that were shields for Microsoft.
Opinion leaders. You're talking about opinion leaders.
Yeah, opinion leaders. Like, we need to get back to that, because the public and Joe Gamer has just gone off the rails, and they are just drunk off of this little thing that they view as power. because they have the power. They have the power to shut your game down, and like because of that power, like we've lost decent games like Mass Effect Andromeda, because we now listen to Joe Gamer, and we should have never listened to Joe Gamer.
Here's the issue with that. So you did some bulldozing, I'm gonna do some construction of my own. So here's the problem. Here's the only reason I see why the opinion. Here's the only reason the opinion leader model will not work right now, and it's because now we have different social media platforms that allow more and more average Joe gamers to get their voices heard. So the vocal minority has become much louder, and at the same time, the relevance of the opinion leaders has decreased because while additionally it's decreased, the relevance is decreased. A lot of that decrease has been due to people feeling like they're shields and feeling like those people have undisclosed benefits from these companies, and so they're looked at and viewed as being dishonest, right? So now you don't have those people playing the front guard and being more or less the pawns in your chess game, right? You don't have those people playing that front line anymore, and that's because now the space between the front line, between the black and the white set of chess pieces, instead of being pretty far apart, now it's starting so close together because you got all these social media networks, and you got everybody being able to go out on YouTube, and everybody going to Facebook and Instagram and being able to be heard. Now there's a lot of noise in the medium, right? And so because of that, it's going to be very, very hard to get across a very clear, distinct message. So that's why I think it's going to be an issue. While I agree with your hypothesis,
I don't think it's that hard.
I do think it's that hard.
I don't think it's that hard. What needs to happen is the PR departments need to really let these the people that actually work for the company, that speak for the company on these social media platforms, they need to let them be able to address these in a way that benefits them, because they can get the message out clearer. Like, you know, like we keep getting PR speak, and like what's happening with Destiny is like they do something that's like, my bad, I ain't know I couldn't do that. But like somebody needs to say, you know what I mean? Like somebody else need to say, like, we need the old Luke Smith. How about that?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
And it's like, once you've made a statement, or look, like, man, I just like, because part of it is the developer's fault as well for feeding into the frenzy. Like, it's like, oh, there's sharks in the water. Oh, well, the sharks are upset. Let me jump in with them. No, you don't do that, you dummy.
Right. Jump in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like these developers are going to have to develop some cojones, some wherewithal where they can say, look, we put out a statement, the problem is being fixed. Do you have any more questions? If not, let me do my job.
And it needs to be
that's it.
That needs to be.
We would still have good Mass Effect if the doctors and Casey Hudson had just said, "No, bitch, no."
Yeah, they would have been like, you know what? We're proud of the happy. We're very proud of the ending we did. And if you miss something that's cool, like me, I'd miss something. I'd miss that you could have the communication with all your friends at the very, very end. You know what I'm saying? Like if they would have just said, you know what? How did the end of your game experience go? Like, tell us what you did.
All they had to say is, every gamer, go watch Inception. Did he wake up, or is he still inside the program?
Right. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Interpretation.
Yeah, it's based upon your interpretation. That's it. Done. Mass Effect 3, greatest of all time. Done. Done it.
The Mass Effect 3. This is the thing that they could have said that would have got rid of all of this. The one thing they could have said was, ending isn't just the ending. The whole game is the ending.
Yep.
All of your choices matter. All of your choices matter throughout that whole game. This is the ending of our trilogy. The whole game is the ending. Bam! Because all you did was solve all of the problems for the other two games. You solved all of the problems, and you tried to end all of the conflicts while you dealt with a bigger conflict. So that whole game is the ending.
Now, not to say they didn't stumble. They didn't, stumble, because I still think.
Then they quit.
Yeah. Then they quit. You know what? That was on me. But no, man. So but again, so state of the industry is that I don't know where it's at. I mean, we've kind of said where we think it's at. I do hope to see it improve. 2018 is shaping up to be pretty different. I don't have to buy another. Oops.
No, I don't believe. I pressed the button.
I'm hoping I don't have to buy an Xbox One X3 here really soon, or a PS5 here really soon.
Oh, the XS is coming. You know that XS is coming.
The next X shouldn't be coming. Not for a while.
The XS.
The XS is coming.
What's the XS?
The Xbox SX.
The Xbox
XS is coming.
Enhanced edition. Look, here's the thing. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Game industry, this is the thing. I want to be able, if you're going to give me backwards compatibility in Microsoft, good on you, mate. I'll take it. I will take that. I will take being able to move my games from generation to generation. Just don't ask me to buy a box all the time. And as long as you understand that a lot of people are going to be happy with I'm basically at like a day one box, then cool. I'm basically back there. That's cool. As long as you continue to keep me in mind, I'm cool with that. So
I just installed Saints Row the Third today, and I'm about to get it popping.
Right. So, but everybody, that's all we got. I mean, we've been in here an hour and a half, and that was what we wanted to do, is do an hour and a half. So actually we've been in here, hour and a half. So y'all get your shout outs in. Knox. Get your shout outs in. Where can we find you, man?
Oh man, find me on Twitter at Knox Broadcast, on Xbox Live at Knox Broadcast, on Google Hangout Plus or whatever you want to call it, whatever, Knox Broadcast. Knoxbroadcast at gmail.com or knoxbroadcast.com. And when Sean Layton let us change our PSN name, it'll be Knox Broadcast, but for now it's Mr. Henry Knox on PSN. So that's where you can find me. My YouTube channel should be ready in January. I'm not making any promises for December. Podcasting is going to be officially back in audio form.
You're not making the promises for
on December 25th. You will have a podcast from Knox Broadcast. So yeah. All right, Scott, what you got?
Man, just shout out to Double A who showed up. I know this was kind of impromptu for the live part of this. So shout out to Double A and everybody who's going to be listening to this later. Just thank y'all, because if it wasn't for y'all, we couldn't do this. And I like the fact that I can do this, and in this iteration of it, I'm a little bit unrestricted, and I'm totally putting the show on my feed too. Bam.
There you go. Yeah, man. Well, again, shout out to Double A. Shout out to the fellas for investing in their Saturday. Yeah, we had a little issue. We were going to try to record not live, but it didn't give us all the tools, or give me all the tools I preferred to have while going live. So we just went ahead with live anyway. So all your hate mail can be directed to Mike, aka Scarfinger, at Scarfinger on Twitter.
No. I've received very little hate mail since I've done the show. Since I've been on podcast, I received very little hate mail.
And so, man, that's really,
they probably scared.
Shout out to all of y'all, because not everyone will hear this. Mike and I will wish people a Merry Christmas next week on Monday, because we won't record again on Christmas, because why would we do that? But
dog, it's Christmas.
But
we could do a show on Christmas and sing Christmas carols, though.
It could get the Temptations playing in the background in my mind. Okay, but I'll say Merry Christmas now to everyone. Be safe. Get some good shopping in. Yeah, man. Ooh. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in your ear again. I don't know the next time we'll do a State of the Industry. Maybe sometime around E3. Maybe sometime before E3. Man, it just all depends how things shake out. But
we do this more often. I like being unrestricted. We might have to just put State of the Industry on my feed and just do it.
Just do it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be down for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So y'all hit us up, give us some feedback. Remember to rate us wherever you listen to us, man. We really appreciate it. Tell your friends, get them to subscribe. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Peace out to the Warriors.
Peace out.
Merry Christmas, Warriors.